All right, back to part 2 of the huge PSA reveal. If you didn't see part 1, it should be linked below, and feel free to check that one out. If you want to start with part 2, that's totally fine, but just throwing that out there. We have a ton of really cool cards, starting out with a Fitzgerald Gold Refractor. But first, I forgot to mention in the last video, did have 3 cards in this order that didn't go through. So these first 2, it said do not holder, no grade voucher, no spec info. So these are both really unique cards, one for Brazilian Ronaldo, one for David Beckham. They're from sets that apparently don't have a checklist, so PSA does not know, if they're maybe legitimate or what to even title them. So both these didn't get graded. I will probably just send back to ComC, which I think where I got them. And then the other one, I accidentally sent a, excerpt card. I spelled extra wrong. I accidentally inserted a card in the order that I forgot to put on the sheet somehow. So this is just heads up. This is what happens when that occurs. So I didn't get charged for this card. Nothing happened. It just came back with the order. So heads up there. Anyways, let's dive right in. So first card here we have is the Larry Fitzgerald 2005 Finest Gold Refractor, numbered out of 49. Absolutely great looking card. Second year card for Fitz there too. Really tough grade on a 9 actually. That's not easy to get in this set. There are a lot of 8s, a lot of lower grade. The 10s are nearly impossible. So 9 is a pretty strong, let's say collector grade there for that card. Similar for any of these Topps Chrome refractors, of course, 9s are pretty good. As Jason Witten Sepia Refractor, these are numbered out of 99. That guy who should be in the Hall of Fame, I hope, but Antonio Gates just got totally snubbed, so I don't know. Witten will probably be snubbed as well. And then here's finally another tight end that 100% should be in the Hall of Fame, and hopefully he gets in first ballot. It's Rob Gronkowski, also Sepia Refractor out of 2015 Topps Chrome. Mentioned last video some of these refractors. I buy them all over the place, so I'm able to go to card shows about once a month now. With the baby, I don't go much more than that. But I buy a lot on eBay, something like this, or also I like ComC.com. Just in general, I'm a big fan of what they do. So yeah, that's typically where I get my cards. A good mix of the 3 things there. So you've got MJ, LeBron, this is a duel. There's, I think, 4 total from this set in this order. You've seen 1 from the last video, so that one also gems. That's 2 for 2 so far, which is pretty big. Another duel card here, which is the hot tandems for Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Really cool in here. I believe there's a Kobe and a Shaq in this set, if I recall. But this is obviously, to me, much cooler, probably the coolest one in there. So yeah, pretty good grade there on a 9. 10 would have been awesome, but I can't win them all. Championship Drive Kobe, PSA 10 right here. Again, these early years cards, anything after the year 2000, I've had much better luck with. Anything in the 90s, I struggled mightily when grading. It just seems like they're much pickier on them, and the card condition, I guess, in general is always tougher, so that's part of it too. So gold team for Ken Griffey. Like I mentioned in the other video, I'm just sending off a couple Griffey cards. Number 1, just to kind of learn, see how they grade, see there's demand for them, that sort of thing. Because as I, grade, a lot of these will end up in my eBay store. Not everything's for my collection, and then it's a way for, like I always mention, I grade a ton of cards. I sell quite a few, and then I keep the few that I really want for my collection. And these hopefully will pay for those. That's the way I always view this. So cool in here is the Hit Parade UD Gaudy. Michael Jordan, obviously great photography there. I've graded a few Kobe's from this set, have never come across a Jordan, and I actually have 2 in this order. Ironically, there is a Kobe here next, so you can see what that one looks like. And this one did gem. So same set, just really good photography. I'd never really looked up a checklist now that I think of that. In the 2000s, these are your biggest players that could possibly be in a set, obviously, is Kobe and Jordan probably. But I'm sure there's other cool ones in there too. So maybe a set to check out. That's why I make these too. Part of this is it's fun, I feel like, to watch. Maybe you guys enjoy this, just seeing new cards and then seeing how they grade. It's always was fun for me when I was, watching on YouTube a lot, maybe before I collected as much as I do, or I should say I grade as much as I do as well. I always feel like it was fun watching these, kind of seeing how, how other people are grading, what are they getting good grades on, what are they struggling with, that sort of thing, before you really take a jump and try it yourself. That was always, something that I try to do. I always thought this card was pretty cool. Standing not a particularly rare card, obviously a space card, but with a nice Spalding basketball in the background, just, I don't know, just kind of neat. Not something you see. Got an 8 on that one, unfortunately. Probably just, again, surface. A lot of these, I was looking at the other video, looking at some of the 7s and 8s. A lot of it's like surface, or I miss, a lot of them had a minor corner issue or something that I just totally miss. So that can happen on these, especially when you have, maybe not this card, but a lot of these have the white backs. I think if you're not using a magnifying, which I'm kind of lazy about sometimes, you can really miss some of the issues. Like, for instance, this one, again, looks fairly center, but I guarantee you if you really own in on a corner somewhere, like right here, unless I'm not seeing this correctly, that looks like an awful corner. So I don't know if I just like totally whiffed more than likely when I was prepping, and that can happen. So, and this one, like a PSA 7 here on the Ronaldo, kind of stinks, but this is a set that I, just kind of live and learn as you go, that these are just extremely hard grades. A 7 is still not really awful on that set. You're shooting for probably 8s and 9s, but, and then a set like this, always 9s and 10s with Jordan, but yeah. Some of his Wizards stuff just so goofy, like this. I mean, again, it's a cool card, but it's just weird not seeing him in the Bulls uniform with some of these, but that's how it goes. Another odd uniform, but good player, is Troy Polamalu here in the SP Authentic. I don't even know why I bought this originally. I had some Kelvins from this set and stuff like that. I think I've graded in the past, like a Tom Brady in the Michigan uniform, stuff like that, and I've gotten high grades on that set, so I think that's why I bought a couple, but they came in like awful shape, and then the only one I sent off just got a 9, so that's kind of how it goes sometimes. You're not going to do perfect every time, but you just kind of split it up. So, all right, another I think really cool Jordan here in a 10. This is SPX. I'm not sure on popping a lot of these. I believe most were in like the 10s for any of this kind of stuff is probably in the 30 to, some are up to a couple hundreds, but I don't think this one is. It's probably lower. But this is a card that I just think is really cool. And again, it's not the flashiest, it's not thousands of dollars, but it's something where for $16 grading, you really can't go wrong. It's a Vic Blue refractor. Again, I showed you that. Purple that I messed up on, didn't submit correctly, but we got the blue right there. So we have a 7 on the Jordan. I got a PSA 10 in the last video on the same set. I was looking at these two next to each other. The only difference is like you have very, slight whitening there and then slight up here. But, not complaining because that is expected. That's going to happen. So again, I just total whiff on my part. Luckily, maybe them seeing the 7 made them think, oh, let's give them a 10 on this other one that looks much nicer. Who knows? Probably doesn't work like that, but never know. Cool Griffey again, just anything shiny. I was just trying some different stuff to see how it would grade. I have a Beckham 6 here. On these stickers, when you 6, I'm learning very off-center on the back, right? But I probably thought it could still get an 8. But usually it's likely like a wrinkle or something that I'm just totally missing. It just happens. I just whiff on it sometimes. So run on some SP Authentic Jordans. Nothing fancy by any means, but again, something for the $19 grading just to try out. Cool in here. It's funny, I just remember when I first started collecting to like way back, I always thought, oh man, how cool would it be to get an SP Authentic for Kobe in every year, or Jordan every year. And it's like, that's kind of the way I view a lot of this, is like I'll grade like multiple years, because again, I remember when I thought, I wanted to collect every year and that sort of thing. And they're not the flashiest, a 9 is not more than $20 or $30, but it's just, a good approachable price point for the majority of the population. Not everyone can collect $1,000 cards. That's a cool one. Again, I was surprised by a low pop here. You have Jordan and Steve Kerr. Obviously, 07 is not playing years, but any Jordan 10 I'm very happy about, or Kobe 10 for that matter. So again, I had 2 Jordan 10s of this card already in the last video. Now I got a Kobe there. I do like grading, multiple from the same set for different players. I found on eBay at least, again, just stocking strictly from running an eBay store side of things. You see a lot of people who will hit the buy now or send a best offer on like a Kobe like this. I actually have 2 Kobes, I didn't realize, in 10s. And then they'll go and buy the Jordan as well. eBay does a good job, I think, of, if somebody's bought something in the past, it shows them similar cards they might like on your profile. Like, it just seems like they do a really good job of doing that. So that's kind of, again, just a reasoning there. I just think if you can find players that go together well, and again, if you're growing a collection through running an eBay store, you go to card shows, it just looks cool having them next to each other. And I think, it's attractive for somebody who's collecting. And I'm sure in other sports, I'm not as knowledgeable about like baseball, and definitely not soccer either. I know players, but I didn't grow up with it where I just have that innate knowledge of like players who played well together, stuff like that. But for those of you who do, it's an opportunity where, again, I'm just sharing this tip because it might be kind of interesting to see what you can pair up in some of these sets if you want to collect it, or again, if you're grading and that sort of thing, I want to try some different ones. Got a big run on Ronaldinho here. We got a pink wave at 150. I have a 7 on the Mega Cracks, but I do know that this set is extremely hard. I have gemmed actually a couple from this set for him. Those are due very, very good money, but they're super, super hard to find. And when I say very good, again, it's probably like, I don't know, $150 or $200. But for this bulk rating, anything like that, where you can do, buy for $10 and then get a 10, that's huge. But it's just hard to find cards in good enough condition to do that. A couple more Ken Griffeys here. Oh, by the way, I thought this Flare Kobe, I just thought this was a sleek card. I was surprised how cheap they are. I think there's multiple on eBay for like $70, $80 compared to, you know, some of the others that you see. But that one was, I thought, really good looking. So an MJ. And then here is that that card. I think, I don't remember if I just showed you it or it was in the last video, but this Hit Parade, another 10. So example where, again, I got a Kobe, I got a Jordan, I got a 9 for both, and I got a 10 for both. So just cool having those pairings in this order so you can just see how, you know, the two do together and that sort of thing. And then speaking of SP Authentic, got the Jordan 10 and the Bulls uniform. Also Fleer shoebox. I'm not sure what this set is. I've just thought the photography was always really cool, so I've graded some Jordans. This Kobe's just really slick, nice kind of, I don't know, unique, cool, low pop. That's kind of what I like to grade. It's just, you know, not everything needs to be the new Victor Wembanyama, you know, all that stuff. You can grade these older cards and still have, you know, a lot of fun with it. And I honestly just get, again, good grades on old cards. It's not impossible. You just have to really be patient with what you're looking for and be okay that not every card is going to be in great shape. And I know that's the case with modern cards as well, but it's kind of how it goes, you know. And then you send a bunch and you get a 6 and you're thinking, why the heck is this a 6? And I bet you we could look at this for 5 minutes and probably not tell. It's definitely like a crease or something. If there's a 6, it could be like a wrinkle. That's usually what I assume when it's lower than like a 7 or something like that. Another cool Kobe, Upper Deck MVP. These mini, I have a lot of like mini Griffeys. I have no idea why I was like thinking I should just buy all the mini ones, but I just think they're neat. Strong grade here for the Beckham on the 04. Like I mentioned in the last one too, any of these soccer cards you get 9s on, it's pretty dang close to a 10 in my book, at least from what I've seen from the population and from grading a bunch. Just really hard to gem. And again, I have another Spalding of this Jordan. I just think these are cool. Here's a nice gem. This is a pretty surprising one. Not surprising, but I've graded quite a few of him. He sells fairly well. He's got a good market, a lot of international buyers because obviously, well, from China, that sort of thing. But a gem here on the Yao Ming Chinese. I remember these used to be like $500-$600. I think they're more in the $150 range now. I mean, the $600 was like a couple years ago, but yeah, that one's pretty slick. So this Antonio Holmes Gold Prism, this one again that's a PC card right there. I don't have a ton in this order like I mentioned last time, but that is one right there. We have Eli Manning Black Refractor. And then we have another Eli Manning, actually, is a blue refractor. These are numbered out of, what are they out of? 199. And then we have a Ken Griffey we finally gemmed. You know, I'm getting so many 9s. I think I had horrible luck, but that's why I also split some of these between, like I maybe buy like 30 cards or 20 cards in a lot sometimes on eBay or something, and you know, if 10 or 15 are gradable, I don't send them all in the same order necessarily. So this some of that like kind of stuff I split up in other orders that should be getting back soon. So another Ronaldo, and then finally we have a Jordan out of UD Hardcourt. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in. Again, a little bit of a different kind of video, different kind of cards, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoy sharing these, so thanks for tuning in. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already as well.